Thank you for joining the Asheville Rise Stronger Together podcast. This is your host, Jessica Knupp with the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. I hope you enjoy today's episode. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is part of our Women Who Lead Building Community Through Business series. And today we're here with Jodie Appel from Asheville Salt Cave. And we're thrilled to have you here today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
So glad to be here.
Yeah. So tell us kind of about the Asheville Salt Cave and how it got started, all the things.
Yeah, so we are kind of a full wellness spa. We have, I'll just give a little bit of history first here. So we offer salt therapy, we offer therapeutic massages, and then we have what's called a hammam. It's like a steam bathhouse ritual, kind of very traditional to Turkey or Morocco. But a lot of other cultures have bathing rituals in comparison to Americans. We'll maybe touch on a little bit further of those, but those are sort of our main three services. And then we have a lot of other little events that we do and try to incorporate times where community can come at lower rates and things like that. So a lot of different ways to really help support the whole community. And it started, so I have been in the holistic field a really long time. I studied aromatherapy, I studied massage therapy, herbalism, kind of all of those naturopathic ways. And my father is the opposite. He studied pharmaceuticals, which is ironic, but he's actually the one who kind of came up with the concept. So not really came up with it, but found it in his travels. So little backstory on him. He unfortunately has had severe asthma and allergies from being a kid. And then he had a really terrible car accident. Now it's been like 20 years, but fell off a ravine and punctured his lung and like really scary things that happened. And we weren't really sure where that was going to go. So a lot of breathing, even more breathing problems. And so I can't remember the year, so probably 2010, he was driving down to visit me. I lived in Greenville at the time in South Carolina. And they stop in Williamsburg, Virginia for a break, and they normally like to travel around and see everything, but it was very rainy. So he had called me and said, I came across this thing called a salt spa. I don't know anything, but maybe you do. And I'm gonna be 100% real. I kind of went, I don't know, maybe it's a hoax. And he was like, okay, that sounds okay, but it's cheap. And I was like, cool, like, I don't know, like, tell me about it. What does it say? And so he read the little brochure to me, and I said, you know what? I think you should just go try it. Maybe it'll be helpful. And he went in and he came out 45 minutes later, and he pretty much bought out their entire store because he loved it so much. Pretty
Which
sure.
I'd say happens at your store.
It's happened at my store as well.
I've been there. I'm like, oh, I'll take a lamp.
A little boo-boo stand, a little this. Yeah, for sure. So lots of good things to bring home afterwards. But yeah, he came down here with lots of treasures and just kind of talked the whole time. And I was like, God, he's so not into this world. But okay, like, cool.
This should be me talking, not him, right?
Yeah. So he left, went home, and then he started realizing like he didn't use his inhaler for about 2.5 weeks. So he was a little like, well, I didn't do anything different but that. So that's pretty cool. And then the conversations became more and more, and he was really like, I really want to do this. And like, you're my person to like help me do this. And so I was like, well, I got to know more. I don't know anything.
Right.
And so he sent me up there, and the woman who runs that particular spa called Williamsburg Salt Spa, who's just a great gift in our lives, she and her husband are Polish, and they actually went and lived at a particular mine in Poland where you can go and live for months at a time to heal from lots of different things. So I think he had some kind of other lung issue that they had went and stayed for a few months. And I don't really know why she was so kind to my family, but she decided to share all of her knowledge and information. There really wasn't a lot at that time. So she gave me like the one book, and here's what we know. And then it became just like a really intense dive deep journey of like, what is this? How do I gain more knowledge? And the more I gained knowledge, my dad was kind of ready, but I was like, I want to really know what I'm doing.
For sure.
We started looking for locations, and then it just sort of kind of started unfolding after a few years, I feel like, of me really like absorbing what I was kind of.
And this is when you were living in Greenville?
I was living in Greenville at the time, and I was seeing someone up here, and I thought, Asheville is just maybe at that time even a little more the right location
Right.
for something like this. And then I started realizing like, oh, there's this the stories about the porches in Montford, right, where everybody goes and sat on the and I was like, oh, this is okay. So tuberculosis was here. It's kind of a very similar story of what happened in Poland, why they have this mine, and the story of that whole how they kind of came to find out about salt therapy. So I was like, okay, this is clicking more. And then obviously there's a big holistic community up here, and it just sort of started to be like, okay, this is the better fit. And so we just started looking for locations, and found our location downtown, and just magic started happening. The magic started rolling in.
That's so great.
Yeah. So
how did you, I mean, I know that everybody is going to go and see this now because it is absolutely fascinating and it is beautiful. But can you kind of like tell everybody like how many, like you tell the story about how you found somebody to make it. And how.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. So we started with just the Salt Cave realistically, and we had one little massage room downtown until we kept growing. But we really searched online because the woman in Williamsburg did not want us to have her builder. It wasn't a good fit.
Oh, okay.
So she wouldn't tell us that. She goes, you have to find your own. Figure it out. I'm like, okay. So of course that's like Googling all the time. Like, how do you find somebody to do this? And randomly we did find somebody, and funny enough, my dad was like, okay, I'm going to send him the money. And I was like, no, we're not just sending somebody the money. And so we made like a 4-day trip. He lived in Greece, and he had places that he had built in Greece. And so we did a 4-day trip to Greece, just to go see these other rooms.
Jodie, I want to be you.
Well, I was, it was very that was my first like overseas, like big overseas travel. And I was like, we're going for 4 days. This is so fat. I don't know.
And then we're going to come home. We're going to start a business.
And we're going to start a business. There's so much. Like it was a lot, but I definitely was like, we're not handing some person on the internet like all this money.
Right. I think the 4-day trip was probably the best option.
It was the best option because it was just like short. Like you just had to like be like, this is what we're doing. We're not there for vacation. We were, we saw little things, but so we found him. Feel like he was a good fit for us at the time. He came over with a team, and we loaded up like a full truck. And then when the truck pulled up, we were sort of like not prepared of how we were going to unload, because it's a lot, a whole like truck of salt. And at the time we were down on Eagle Street, and there was a lot of people that used to hang out in Triangle Park back then. And so I just kind of went over there, and we're like, do y'all want to work? I got some money to pay you. And we literally lined up like 30 people and just made a little line to bring it all in. And then we kind of did that on the way when we moved to the new location. It was like, how are we bringing it out? We're doing the same thing. So we have
one of those rocks from when you moved that was part of our holiday gift, and so it sometimes gets placed around the chamber office.
I love that.
It's a part of the chamber as well.
Yay, I love that. Yeah. So always super fun trying to navigate. I keep finding myself in these situations where I'm working with people from other countries and things, and so there's always just this interesting. It's a different community, but yet it's part of my community, and just an interesting web to weave, and how it works, and how do we plan these things? Because even moving into the hammam, that was with someone else who was from a different culture, and so it's just really beautiful to interweave some of those.
Well, and to bring that to Asheville and to us and educate, our community on the benefits, but then also like, what a wonderful opportunity that we have, to have these bathing experiences and the Salt Cave and
different ways to care for ourselves that I think aren't always easy to get to, right? So it's kind of just a different way to interact within that system.
So as you started, I mean, like once you got everything built and you're like, okay, I'm starting my business. Like, what did that look like? Is it something you always kind of had in the back of your mind about being a business owner?
So I think there was a shift. When I was in Greenville, I worked as a massage therapist on people and animals, and then I started working up here on people and animals. And there was a moment I kind of remember when I was down in Greenville, I was like, I want to work on more people, but like I don't know how to do that. And not more people in that I could just feel it wasn't that fashion. And then I kind of feel like when my dad said that, even though probably in that moment I was like, oh God, this is a lot of work. I don't know if I'm not signing up. I'm not signing up. Like, then I was like, oh, but that's the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was maybe the like download I was having in that moment, but it took me a while to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and get there and be acceptance.
Well, yeah, and then sometimes that happens, especially like, I mean, this has turned into a thriving, you know, business and opportunity and helping people in so many ways.
Totally.
So from a business owner standpoint, like what does that look like? You know, I know you have a staff.
We do have a staff.
And kind of, I mean, we all know we've been through COVID, we've been through a hurricane.
It's been a lot.
We've been through a lot. And so kind of like keeping your team together, like, did you see yourself in that role, like as a leader? Or how do you see yourself in that role?
Sometimes I don't really feel like I'm a leader because I know I am.
Right.
But I also am a very big person who I feel like I'm definitely not a leader that knows it all, and that my team is like the most important part because like they all have value that they bring to it as well. I think, yes, it's been very challenging with COVID and then going to Helene for sure. I thought Helene would have been a little different afterwards, where there was maybe more of a spike of people coming through and some groundedness for it, but the world is the world and it's not that way, and that's okay. I think there's been a lot of growth and a lot of change, and it's sort of one of those, we all are over the word of pivot, but like it's continually being like, okay, I have to do that again, or I have to go back and shift how we work in this way or fashion, because it is sort of, I have a very steady staff who's been there, and then I have a very overturned piece of my staff. And so it's always like, you know, trying to come up with unique and creative ways to keep that. I like it as a family. I'm a small business. So I'm like, you're my family. We're working together. Like, how do we move this boat together? And it has gotten more challenging over those last two very large, like kind of episodes of our lives, right? And, you know, I think I just rely even more so on my core team that does bring some of those diverse elements to it to try to help keep me grounded. So I'm not like, I got to control the thing. Like, I'm not the captain like that. Like, I'm more of like, we're a team in this. I'll help keep it going. Like, I'm going to be the one out there to do a lot more, but like, I need all of you.
We all have to be working on this together.
We all have to be working on it together. It's community. And I want you to be part of my community. And if you can see the vision, like, let's do it together and we'll be successful together versus like corporate America. Like, I get success and, you know, whatever. So, so yeah, I think that's like a really big core value for me of that, like mindset going through like daily, even when like times are hard or things are shifting. I'm like, okay, like, calling people, or you go, you know, I was calling people after the hurricane, trying to get a hold of everybody, you know, just like really making sure like we're here for one another.
Well, and you know, you spend a lot of time with your colleagues, and you know, you want that support, and just knowing you know, I know that you would be that driving force, but then also that compassionate, you know, like, what do you need?
What
like,
do you need?
You've said
like,
that to me before. Like, what do you need? Or somebody
like,
in our
sick,
networking group, you know, like if they're going through something or they have an experience or, you know, you're just very giving in that way. So I'm sure, I mean, it exudes in everything that you're doing. Thanks. So from a community kind of standpoint, I know that you do a lot of collaborations with different small businesses in our area. Kind of what does that look like?
Yeah, that one's kind of fun and evolving a little bit, really post Helene, because I think some of those things shifted for us. So I'm, you know, coming into 2026, I think it's going to be interesting to see what sticks and what doesn't. But I feel like, I'm always kind of trying to weave that web, whether it's someone coming in to do a collaboration or us going out to do an event or a collaboration or something along those lines, because whether it's big business, small business, like, we're all here in this kind of small mountain town trying to figure it out in a way. Even, you know, I'm very much in touch with obviously a lot of business owners, and Helene has shifted really for every single
Right.
person, whether it's the background, the front part of the business, like everything's, been a big shift since then. And so just even that, like talking into the community of that way and sort of being like, cool, how can we help each other? If that's your struggle, where can we meet
Right.
to help support you on that back end or that front end of customers or the challenges that you're having with employees, whatever. So sometimes it's not even necessarily the collaboration of, oh, I'm going to have you show up and do an event. Sometimes it's like, I have a few people I go and I have meetings with, and I'm like, what are we doing to support your business in the background? More so than just collaborations up front. But there are a lot of collaborations up front. Like I have some new people offering some tarot cards, some astrology, some manifestation things. So there's a lot of like newer events that we're trying, some breathwork classes, things like that. So a lot of new events coming in to that front of our world as well, which is really
and some of that has really spun off of the hurricane.
Really trying to, we did a few during like the hurricane period of the last year and on some bringing people in to do like free sort of events so people can kind of calm their nervous systems and trying to also like spread the word about other businesses. So having, aromatherapists or herbalists come in and kind of share what they do also, or tarot card readers or things like that, to also try to be like, I'm sure even smaller businesses have struggled even more so. So again, right, kind of being like, hey, you're small, come on in and let's help support. What can we do to like get you to get more clients to coming through?
What kind of motivates you to, keep going through the hard times?
That's a good question. I am probably a person, even though I work a lot, I'm really one to find balance in my life. I think it's really important. And when I go to recharge, I feel like I can really find that recharge in a lot of ways. And I think I feel repetitive, but it comes back to community. I think it's really important. I feel like I jumped around a lot from when I was like maybe 17 and on. And this is the first place I've kind of really been for so long. And I feel really like blessed that there is this like community here. And then watching after Helene, I mean, so many people tell us how beautiful our community came together and did all the things and like nowhere else would do these things, all the, and I still resonate. It still vibes off of me of like, yes, this is it. Like, this is what I live for. Like, we are a we community of collective, whether it's here or the ethers, like we're a we, like, let's, that thrives me for sure of the bigger expansiveness of that.
Yeah. Only because I know a little bit of the story, but in the Salt Cave, when you had it built, aren't there like, first of all, how many people can be in there at one time?
On a community session, we do 12, and then on a private session, I think we can get up to, I think it's 17 at this point.
Okay. And I only know this because I've been a couple times, but there's a little thing.
Go ahead, do it.
I don't know.
I want to know. What is it?
The little secret.
Oh, the little secret things. There's two. So one of our locals built the second Salt Cave for us, actually, who's, I'm not sure if he's still in business, but I'll put his name out there because I think he's so cool. His name is Ricky the Rock Pirate, and he's a masonry worker. If you haven't met him in town, he's really cool. He's done some amazing work in Asheville. So we hired him, and his, I'm gonna say like kind of like probably logo or something is a little skull. And so whatever work he does, he told me he hides little skulls in his work.
Yes.
And so he hid 2 little skulls in the Salt Cave.
Did you find them immediately?
He showed me where they were, or maybe he gave me the idea of where they were. I can't fully remember how that all went because that was so long ago now. But yeah, you will be able to find them as well if you are sneaky and looking. Yeah, they're so cute. I love that.
I love that because then, of course, as soon as you told us that, I was like,
oh yeah, we love telling the kids. We have a kid session on Sundays at 10, and we love sharing with the kids because then it's like a little treasure hunt for them to find, and often they find at least the one of them.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, super sweet. Yeah.
So how long have you been in business?
So we are going into our 14th year, right? No, is it 14 or 2012? Yeah, 14 year, I think that means. Yeah.
And then the new location.
Yeah, we love it. It's been there now since 2019, but 2020-ish.
2020. Yeah.
We opened up in that year.
Yes. I've heard a lot of 21-ish,
Right,
23-ish.
like
We
well, I don't
gotta
really
throw
like
the ish
ish
on there.
in there, yeah, a little. So yeah, been in our new location and just love it. It's just so much more us and so much better and expansive. We really, really outgrew our space down on Eagle Street. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but so I said we started out with one salt room and one massage room, and then we had a closet. And I took away the closet at one point because we were so busy, and I made it was very small. But I made it into a massage room because I didn't know how to expand yet. Yeah. So slow growth is slow, and I'm very grateful that it was slow and we didn't jump into something so big, but very much grateful that we are here. We have lots more space for all sorts of things to happen now, which is really lovely.
We have a beautiful location.
Yeah, lots of gardens and labyrinths and beautiful
parking.
Yeah, we don't have to stress about parking anymore, which is so nice. So yeah, it's I'm very utterly grateful for this location. That was a beautiful gift that came through. So
yeah. As far as continuing to thrive into the future, years to come, like what do you think the future looks like? Or do you?
Oh, where's my crystal ball?
Right, I know, right?
Where's my crystal ball? I left it at home. Oh, it's so hard to predict,
I know,
especially
really
now. It feels so challenging to even like. I feel like I'm just so in the moment of like what's day by day because the future is feeling so. I thought I knew it in 2018.
Right, I know.
Like
well,
I thought I was
always
good.
Have like okay, and then we've like been hit with these these situations.
Things, where you're just sort of like, do I put energy in to figure out what is the future or not? And just sort of flow because it's hard now. It feels a little hard to kind of think so far out where I don't remember feeling that way before all those. If I had a crystal ball and I could like make it happen, I'd love to see like Asheville thrive again really successfally. And not that it's not, but I was here, during a lot of its heydays in a lot of different ways and coming up from when I lived in other places. And I'm excited for it to kind of come back and maybe slow its growth a little tiny bit. Make it back to a little bit of the magic that it once really held. And I think that will come. I think it will be a lot of shifting. I think, again, like a lot of businesses are shifting and changing who they are and how we show up. And people are coming and moving here and people are moving away. So I think there's going to be a few years of true transformation here. And then it will do its magic and come back through.
I think so.
And I think in those next years it will still be all those beautiful things of community and magic and all those little corners and pockets that we see of course daily, but I pray that it will sort of shift in that way again where we're that spot where people want to come and breathe and take a breath again.
It's like your little mountain oasis type
thing, and there are still a lot of people coming and visiting and things. I think we're just in a very transition. I think really after the hurricane made a very big shift. A lot of people moving away, a lot of people coming and trying it and then moving away because they're not really here. There's a lot of
But they were planning the move prior to their. I mean, I've talked to quite a few people that they're like, oh, I moved here on Thursday.
And then they're like, I moved away on Saturday. And you're like, okay.
Right. So,
I think that's the transitions too of like people trying it and figuring out. And, I think there's a lot of growth that Asheville just in general needs to figure out in the sense, not to go here, but like housing and, how our structure of living situations happen here and things like that really need to come back into a balance for people. And so I pray that we kind of navigate gently through those waters and find our way to bring people back.
Right. Do you find with your business, is it local, tourist related? Is a little bit of both? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I feel like it really rotated. So when we were on Eagle Street early days, locals. Then Asheville got really big, so we had only tourists, it felt like.
Right.
Then we moved, and I'm happy that we got our locals more coming through, which was great. And it was a balance of both. And then Helene hit, so then it was just locals.
Right.
Which we're so grateful that they all showed up for that moment. And now it's back to a little bit of the both. And it's a little more balanced, I'd say, than it's ever really been in that way. Like we do have a lot of locals and we do have a lot of out of towners. So it's nice. I think that's coming back probably in the last 5-6-ish maybe months or so. I feel like the tourism has picked itself up a little bit for sure. Like October was nice. I think it was October. Yeah, October was really nice for us this year.
Good, because that's the month that we missed last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, amongst the other,
and then all the other months after that.
But October has always been our busiest.
That's our month. That's our
month. So I was just thinking about this while you were talking. You were mentioning the lady in Williamsburg. Has there been anyone that's reached out? You're just so knowledgeable about all of this now. Have people reached out to you to look?
There are been able to educate people. I do a little bit of education. I'll be honest. Sometimes it's just a lot to just be running it, so I don't really have a lot of energy to put towards someone else's
of course
thing. But I have helped a little bit here and there to get some balance for people with what was her name? Her name is Aga.
Aga. So like you're the Aga.
I'm the Aga now.
The
but there's so much knowledge and information now, and a lot of it. This isn't telling me, but they're easily built now. You could just. I want somebody to come and build one. You could just go online.
But you had to do all
yeah.
Think of how
I had to do even more.
Right.
But then. For me, I was kind of next in line.
You got to learn so much about it and be so invested in it, as you should in a business.
Totally.
But there weren't those resources where you could just go and put up a
little thing and be like, oh, somebody came in and built it and I did it and then we're done. Yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work and knowing so much, because my prior life was working with animals in really severe situations. I was like a specialist for animals, so I know a lot about the body. So it was really important of how we're gonna deliver this. What does the salt and water do to our bodies? Where does that come from? And really making sure that the knowledge I had of my science side really matched with what was being put out. So it was really important for me. So that's kind of why we chose using the water elements within that, because that's what we're naturally made up of. Right. So yeah, it was really important to learn all those pieces and continue to educate myself and kind of, keep the knowledge going and learning instead of just having the wall and I'm down. If somebody calls and says, hey, I have this thing and I don't know if I'm allowed to go in, I'm like, let's figure it out.
That's great.
So yeah, just always making sure it's supportive and never a hindrance to someone's body, because we all have now, seems like a lot more things coming up in what's going on with our bodies.
We do. Well, has there been anyone significant in your life that has been a role model for you, or that really has kind of put you in this entrepreneurship realm?
I'll say I have a few role models. So I told you that I worked with animals beforehand. So actually I had worked with a little bit of Jane Goodall and some people like that. So of course, beautiful role models in Diane Fossey and her in my animal field career, but also just watching, two beautiful people really stand in a role that wasn't at that time very female oriented, right? And then, maybe probably moving more into the world that I'm in now. I definitely would say my father. My father was an entrepreneur himself, as well as my mother and my sister. We all sort of kind of have that. My brother as well. We all have sort of an entrepreneurial spirit. I think that kind of came from their lineage.
Right.
And then there's really a woman in town that I just thought about. I remember her name is Roberta, and she was one of our first clients, and she's just so sweet. She, I was in a group here with her, and she was just very inspiring to me. She's much older than I am for sure, and she had run her own business prior to retirement. And I'm sorry, I'm just really excited. I just was coming out of kind of nowhere, but I just remember she was in a meeting, a little networking group meeting, and I don't know, she was just always so supportive and just really was I can't wait to see you in a few years from now when you figure out this leadership thing and all these little things. I'd be like, really? Who is this? Just supportive in a way that was very not I'm going to help you do these things, but just energetically very I really want this to be you. I want to watch you grow. And Yeah, and I actually just reached out to her recently to be like, let's go have some tea and like try to reconnect because she's just such a lovely
That's
spirit.
so
And so it was more just
cool.
energetically, like
Yeah.
in a way more than like, oh, I saw you run your business and do these things, but like the spirit that she kind of brought to me when I was very new at this and probably very wide-eyed and like, oh my God, what did I get into?
What am I
Like,
doing?
what am I doing?
Yeah.
This is
She
big.
probably saw that and was like, I'm going to try to ground her and be like, you know, this is what it's going to be. I'm going to see you. I want to see this be successful and be a cheerleader
and
for
be like
you.
a cheerleader in the background. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think she always has been kind of there in a way that really felt grounding and supportive. And so I love that group and I'm grateful for her.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us today?
Maybe I want to share just a tiny bit more about the hammam because I think it's something that people just don't really fully grasp.
Please
but like,
do. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. So we were saying earlier, like a hammam is a bathhouse experience. Ours are private, as we were talking about. And it comes traditionally from Turkey or Morocco, but again, we opened during COVID, so yay for that time frame. So we decided to do it. Normally, it's somebody's working on you. You have an attendant that's there and doing the service on you, but because it was COVID, and also probably because we were Americans, we decided to change that to be a very private session. Makes, I think, people a little bit more comfortable because you are either nude or in a bathing suit or whatnot, and so it made it a little more of an intimate experience. And at first I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. And then to be honest, I think it's one of the more lovely treatments because we don't really nurture ourselves after we're like 8. I don't know. But kids, but like, you know what I mean? Like, who's bathing you at 8 anymore? You know, you're kind of learning to bathe yourself and like all these things sort of go by the wayside. And so when you actually like slow down and connect in with someone and someone washes just like your back for you or you're laughing in this space, like it's so nurturing to the soul. And I just think we just don't do that. And then we sort of try to tell people like, this is a time to like wash away things, like let it go here. And like, it's a different way of, you know, we journal, we do art, we go to retreat, you know, all these little things. And there's not really a bathing of like washing something away, like literally, energetically, figuratively, physically, like what am I gonna let go of? So it's got a lot to do with physical, like exfoliations and things like that for the skin, but mentally I feel like there's something that is also really powerful within that treatment that isn't always discussed. And it's community, it's about community, especially in Turkey or in Morocco and places like that. It's supposed to be about community coming together, and it's where they would talk about news and what was happening in the town. And you know, so it's that slowing down in a different way. Where the Salt Cave, we have it more of a quiet service. It is community in that way, but it's about my energetics of community more than a verbalization of community.
Be very quiet.
You did. Well, you needed a private session.
I know. What?
So yeah.
What was I was going to ask you about? Didn't you travel as well to learn? Yeah.
Yeah, that one was a fun one too. We can share that really quick. So when I went, I've gone to Turkey many times. I have dear friends that live there, and I just love that. I love that culture. I love the food. I love the like, you name it. I love it in that world. But I hadn't done a hammam yet. And so my friend was like, let's go do one. Like, I don't want to do one. She doesn't love it, but she was like, I want you to go. And I was like, okay. And so we went to, it's called the Aga Sofia, and it's in Istanbul. It's beautiful downtown location. And we're walking around, and I kind of noticed it was a little quieter in town that day and didn't really correlate anything. And I go in, and I'm the only one in there. And I was like, what's going on? This seems weird. This seems like it should be packed. And she goes, oh, it's a holiday today. I'm surprised you're here. And I was like, this is great. Okay. And she was so kind, and she let me take pictures and videos. And then she just went on and told me all the things. Like, I just felt like I had a little 4-hour class with her. Like, she was just so kind and so inspiring of this just woman who was my attendant to work on me and share her culture. And so it was really just lovely, and something I don't think that would have happened. I don't know if I would have bought that here, honestly, if that wasn't my experience. I mean, it's really beautiful, and I love going to hammams now, but like that first one, to be like, I just had like an educational experience. So very cool.
Yeah, so that's what made you want to bring that
I think so. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, and I might have wanted to add it, but we had like 4 other ideas on the
Right.
table. And then when I went there, I was like, well, that was really,
Mhm.
I don't know, like another little like drop in the
Right.
like, oh, that's something I should be putting in there.
Yes, yes.
So
Oh, man.
yeah, super grateful for that. I don't know her name.
Yeah.
She was just an attendant
Oh,
who was
man.
so kind. I can't remember her name. But yeah, such a beautiful place to travel and
Yeah.
get to experience that. And now I've gone to many hammams there and
Yeah.
never had that experience again. But
See,
so
you
beautiful.
gotta find
Like,
her
yeah,
next
it
time
was.
you go.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. So yeah, I'm so grateful for people when they share knowledge, and I think that's what I love about. I do travel a lot, and I do find that like when we talk and we communicate and when we collaborate in different ways is when the barriers start breaking down and we get to really enjoy who each other are and their cultures, and people want to share
Right.
and want their world to be known about. I find that so magical and beautiful. And again, that's the we, right? The
Right.
collective we of no matter where your community is across the world or sitting right here in Asheville. And I love that.
Right. Well, and it's also, you know, when you're passionate about something and you care, it comes out. And like you know, like you said, like I've learned so much about, you know, wellness and, you know, like we have the boo-boo rock. So if you get a little boo-boo, let it heal a little bit.
Let
and
it heal a
then
little bit. Suck on it a little bit. It's a
and-
good one. It's a good cleanser.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I had no idea that was out there. So
Yeah.
you've opened my world to different things, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
So how can our viewers learn more about Salt Cave? Like, do you book online? Like, tell us
Yeah.
all that and social media and things like
We
that.
just got a new website that launched last week, which we're very excited
Ooh.
about. So I hope
Yeah.
y'all love it. We love it. It's been really long. We're not very good at updating those things. So new website.
It's all right.
You get to book right online. There's a little book button right on the front page.
Cool.
And then we learn about all the different services. We tried to kind of categorize it sort of easy for
Okay.
people to really understand what we offer
Okay.
and how they can make a package deal, whether you just want to do one of our services or maybe you want to do all 3.
Yes, all
Who
3.
knows? And then we also have some special events that are on there as well. So that's AshevilleSaltCave.com. And then we have a couple social media sites. We're kind of active pretty much on like Facebook, Instagram. I've started to do a little bit of TikTok.
Ooh, the TikTok.
Oh, the TikTok. I like Pinterest just because I like Pinterest boards. So making our board pretty is fun.
Yes.
But so yeah, most of those we're pretty active on. And I think they're just usually like whatever the front end is and then ABL Salt Cave at the end. So yeah.
Well,
Happy
that's
to
great.
answer any questions, and yeah, hope we get people to come in and
Yeah.
try to take a little moment and a breath for yourself because I think it's really important for all of us.
Well, thank you, Jodie, so much for being
Yeah.
here today. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. We'll include all of the website at the in our copy of on our post, so you can easily find that, and we can check out the new website and book our next appointment.
I
So
love
thank
it.
you so much for all that
Thank
you do
you.
at the chamber and here at the visitor center. We have your information here as well.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. If you enjoyed today's episode, like, comment, and subscribe. To learn more about joining the Asheville Chamber, scan the QR code on your screen or visit ashevillechamber.org. Until next time!